If you're looking for all the answers, I don't have them. But what I do have is a particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people who misrepresent, misinform, or mislead the sports card industry. So if you don't do that, I'll let it go. That'll be all. But if you do, I'll talk about you so we don't repeat your mistakes. Hi guys, welcome to another adventure. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Card Investigator. Glad you guys are here. A happy belated Thanksgiving to all, and I know it goes without saying that I am thankful for everyone who is making this humble channel as successful as it is. Last time I looked, we were over 450 subscribers, and I find that to be absolutely incredible, and I can't thank you guys enough. Congratulations on our winner who won the Damian Lillard card, rookie PSA 9 card. Hopefully it gets to you in one piece, but I'm sure it will. I always overpack my stuff. And congratulations. Enjoy it. It's a great card. What I want to talk about today is a variety of things. But before I start, I always find it interesting when I look through these different content creators. Sometimes they'll show cards, and I really enjoy that. And I wanted to share with you two cards that I picked up and sent in for a grade. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for them, but I will say they were a little bit more than usually I pay for cards on eBay because I'm always nervous that I can't take a look at them. They were both of the guy that I talked about. Again, this was before, Brandon Clark, and they're kind of cool cards, so I figured if you guys want to see them, I'll show them to you. I have no ulterior motives other than I think they're really cool cards, but one of the cards that I'm going to show you, I don't think I can bring it on myself to get rid of it. I think he's going to go into my son and I's personal collection because it's such a cool card and it's kind of a cool story. The first one I will show you is this Brandon Clark PSA 10 Red Disco Prism. Pretty cool, and it is number 249. I'm debating on this guy. I really like it, but I think depending on how the season starts out with Mr. Clark, he may be going up. The second one is interesting. The second one I went back to on eBay like 3 or 4 times, and I kept saying, oh, I want to pull the trigger, but it's an expensive card, and I just can't tell, and I was going back and forth with is the centering on, is it off, and I made an offer, and it was kind of like a low ball offer, and the guy said, I can't go lower than this amount because they're going for this. I'm still giving you, and he was giving me a discount. I explained, I said, look, I grade cards and I'm buying this, and if it's raw, it's just going to kill me, and I just would like it to be a card that I want to grade. And if it can grade out a 9, okay, but a 10 would be great. So we went back and forth, and he goes, look, I know it looks a little bit off center. I'm going to send you some other card. And we made a deal. So I just got it back about a week ago, and I was very excited about it. It is a 2019 Panini Select Brandon Clark Gold Wave, and it did come back a PSA 10, and this is the one that I just don't know if I can get rid of. I love this card, but hey, just wanted to share with you some new cards to the collection. There's a good chance that both of them, or at least one for sure, is going to go into the PC. Again, everyone has their price, so if I see that Brandon Clark is doing great during the year and his prices are going through the roof, then I may be tempted to put him up. But at this point, not so much. Speaking of which, about YouTube creators, it seems like every day when I'm looking at the YouTube and I'm just reviewing content and seeing what's out there, there's new guys popping up all the time, right? I mean, every single day. And so it's like, who is this guy? Who's that guy? I think it drives the guys that I talk to a lot crazy because I'll review it and then I'll send it to them and they're like, why are you sending this to me? It's just annoying. And I get it, but and as I'm hitting that send button, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. And even my producer director says, why are you doing that? Don't worry about them. But you know what? I do it because I want to review what's out there. And if there's an issue, then I want to bring it to your attention. Not calling anyone out by name. I mean, I could do that, and I go back and forth. But, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, the latest guy I saw was, and this is why I'm bringing this up, because this guy could, sometimes when guys come out there and they tell you what they're doing and how they do it, and they're an authority on the situation, they could cost you money. And that's where I kind of draw the line. And I saw one guy, and he introduced himself, nice enough guy, and he said he was turned on by Gary Vee from the hobby, and he's been studying from 6 months to a year, and now he's ready to go on and tell us what to do. And this guy's spending thousands and thousands of dollars on cards, and I'm like, wow. And then his last episode, he actually advertised that he's going to be doing his own website where he's going to start doing breaks and selling cards and boxes and packs. So it's like there's so much money coming into our community and this industry. It's coming in from all angles, and we just have to be really careful. And I was thinking, how would we describe the basketball content creators on YouTube? I guess maybe think of it as like a big family picnic, right? Where a lot of the family members are coming to your house, and some you like, some you don't like, and some are just like crazy uncles that have get-rich schemes, and you have to be careful. It's just like every day. I was going to say it's a big dysfunctional family, but that's not fair, because there's so many good people out there, and every once in a while you're going to have a bad apple, but it is what it is, and we just have to be really careful. I mean, there's just so much going on at any given time, and that's what I do say that, and I'm going to keep hitting on that, is to just be careful going forward. One thing I do want to bring to your attention, and it was on a video that had a lot of views on, and it was a comment. And the video was, we all do it. We all make mistakes. It was a video on a submission, and the person who did the submitting wasn't happy with how his cards came back. They were, maybe he paid a little bit too much to get them graded, and then they didn't come back as good as he had hoped. We've all been there. I mean, that's just something that we all go through as submitting cards. But what I want to point out was, in one of the comments, someone said that if you submit your cards to PSA, just ask them for a minimum grade. So if your card does not meet the minimum grade, PSA will just return your card and you won't be charged. That's bad information. That is not the case. Now, we talked about this on my PSA video, that if you submit a card, you can indeed ask for a minimum grade, and that's fine, but you're still going to get charged. I mean, could you imagine? It's like, it would be like PSA 10 or your money back. I mean, can you imagine how backed up they would be if that was actually the case? And that's not the case. So if you want to go for a minimum grade, you put in 5 cards, or let's say 20 cards at $15 a piece, and you say minimum grade 9, and 3 of them come back, they're going to come back non-graded, but you're going to get charged $45, 15 a piece, because the guy's still going through the process of actually grading the card. They're just not slapping it up. So keep that in mind. Minimum grade, fine. You're going to get charged though. And for more information about grading, submitting, stuff like that, go back to my video. I go through it in great detail, but that was not good information. So anyone who read that or reads that, who wasn't listening to this, hopefully they know better, but I'll leave it at that. So, did you guys enjoy the draft? That's pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't the same as usual. Weren't a couple surprises. Some guys went a little bit higher than some guys. Some guys went a little lower. Little business surprises, a couple trades. But actually, when you think about it, other than them not being there to get the high fives and the hugs from Adam Silver, wasn't much different. I mean, this day and age, we just got to do what we can do until light at the end of the tunnel. Help is on the way. Let's hope that we get the vaccine and we can get back to life as normal. Go do some shows, get out there, start meeting you guys. I mean, I would really love to do that. But, but it's in this far from normal NBA season, I just wanted to talk about the rookies that were drafted in this last draft, 2020 draft, that I am buying. And I am buying, at this point, none of them. I am buying no rookies. And why, you may ask. And, it's not really that of a remarkable of an answer, but I just wanted to give you some information on why I'm not buying rookies now. it takes so much time to gel and develop chemistry. And the jump from college game, to an extent, maybe the overseas game, into the NBA league is immense. The grind, the speed, adjusting to the overall physicality, this takes time. And I just can't see, with maybe an exception or two, which I don't even know who they're going to be, and anyone who tells you that any of these rookies are going to contribute or excel from the jump, they're talking out of their where, because it's a guess. It's just a guess. I mean, let's think about this. It is a tremendously quick turnaround from the draft into jumping into the league. I think it's December 21st is the first game. And rookies usually have months and months of preparation. We're talking summer league, practices, regular preseason. I think this preseason is a week and a half? It's nothing compared to what it usually is. And, I spoke to some people that know way more about this than I do. Remember, I am not a scout, not even close, right? But I spoke to some people that have ties with the NBA. And they agreed with me, not surprisingly, because I ran the theory by them, and they said they're actually talking about that themselves, that this is uncharted territory with these guys. They agree it's going to take a little bit of extra time for these rookies to develop. And these are guys that I trust. They're verified sources. These guys are close. I'm actually working on having some of these guys come in and on the on the YouTube show during the season, so they can give you some insight on the guys that are developing and who they like, which I think it'll be really cool. And some of these guys, like I said, they're going to have flashes, but I really think you're going to see a lot of these guys, the prices kind of drop in the first couple months because they're just not going to be playing at the level that they will be later in the year. I actually watched one video of a guy that I really like who had some good information, and he said that I think it was the personal finance dad, and he's not buying rookies for a year. And I get it. Now, I wouldn't wait a year. I mean, this is my opinion. I respect his opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but there's going to be a time to buy these rookies, and it's going to be sooner than later, but it's not now. It's not now. And don't get down on these guys because they're the rookies. Don't get down on these rookies because they're going to look bad in the beginning. They are. And that's part of the natural progression. And that's when you should look to the opportunity to buy these guys, right? And like I said before, there's going to be flashes where these guys succeed, and you guys can, get me on Instagram or comment that, hey, Andy, you're wrong. But just think about this. If these guys come out, any of these guys, and have a couple of flashes and great games, where do you think the prices are going to be? I mean, and actually, when you think about it, prices on what? I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But what products are even out there now? Prism Draft and Panini Contenders. And then some lower, other not as known products. But now there's not much out there. And the way that we're going to look at these cards in the future, as far as what cards are going to be available for this draft class, they're not coming out for a little bit. We'll talk about that in a second. So, in the meantime, what should our focus be? What should our focus be on? What players should we be focused on? Well, for me, and we talk about this, I go for, a lot of the rookies, of the first-year rookies. I invest in them, and then I speculate, and I use the information at my disposal, which we talked about ad nauseum before. Which one of those guys are going to make the leap from their first year, their freshman pro year, into their second pro year? And those are the guys that we should be locked and loaded and ready to go on. Now, who are they? Are they the Cam, the RJ, the Tyler Heroes, Brandon Clark, the PJ Washington, the Rui Hachimura? Who knows, right? But those are the guys that I look to make that first to second year jump. And when they do, we're going to be ready. And you can already see their prices starting to edge up in anticipation. Also, what about the newly signed free agents? Are they going to get a bump? Could be. I think they are. I'll tell you a little story. One of the guys that I had my eye on at the end of the season last year was a guy who was going to be a free agent this coming. He just got signed, by the way. And his name is Christian Wood. My producer, director extraordinaire at Tyler Eisman actually brought him to my attention and said, hey, take a look at him, see what you think. I think he's going to have a chance to excel in his next contract. And he was in his last year of his contract in Detroit, poised to go into free agency. This guy has an interesting story. He was an undrafted free agent, 2015, originally signed by the Sixers and bounced all over the place, 5 teams, until he finally got his shot with Detroit. This guy never played more than 21 games in a season up until last year. This last year, abbreviated season, he played 62 games. You know I'm not a stat guy, but for this I'm going to bring it up a little bit. Averaged 21 minutes, 13 points, shot 74% from the free throw line. His field goal percentage was 63% from 2, 38% from 3. Not bad. However, in his final 22 games, he averaged almost 20 points, 56% shooting, 40% from 3. But what really caught my eye and my producer director at Ty Eisman was his last 10 games. He averaged 34 minutes, 24 points, and 10 rebounds. So after looking at that, I mean, this guy maybe, late bloomer coming into his own. Definitely, going to demand some attention on the free agent market. And depending on where this guy went or goes, he's got a chance, even though he is kind of a hybrid center type of guy, but he's excellent in the pick and roll, does some great things for a big guy, very athletic. So I thought, let's take a chance, right? So before I continue, don't buy him. I'm not telling you to buy this guy. I hate that. Oh, I'm going to hype, pump. Don't buy him. And the reason why you should not buy him, it's too late. It's too late to buy him. It's too late. When I started picking up this guy's cards, he was $14. That's what it was, $14. And actually, at that time, I'm like, whoa, this is a pricey card, because he only had the 2 cards out there because he didn't have that much rookie stuff because he was an undrafted free agent. So he had the rated rookie from Don Russ. I always get a kick out of it. Is it Don Russ or Don Russ? I don't know. It's a pet peeve of mine when I see these guys. It's a Don Russ. Anyway, so I started picking up these cards for about $14 a piece. I picked up a bunch. And again, I thought they're actually pricey, but the cards are pretty scarce. And I looked today, and his cards raw now are going from anywhere between $70 and $90 a piece. Crazy, right? There's just not much out there. I know what you're saying. You're saying, Andy, come on, I can't believe you're on this guy. And look, guys, I'm an ex-Fed agent. I have integrity. I would not lie to you. But for those naysayers, I was actually interviewed by Stacking Slab Brett, my good friend Brett from Stacking Slabs, back on July 17th. It is forever documented in the history of this tremendous podcast of Stacking Slabs. And Brett asked, and he says he asked all his guys, who do you have a guy that you look for? And, I told him, I said, I hate doing that. I don't like to talk about people. But there is a guy out there that I think has a chance. And I actually brought up Christian Wood. So it is there for all of posterity, forever. It's in the annals of history in this Stacking Slab podcast. So fast forward. Christian Wood just signed a 3-year, $41 million contract with the Houston Rockets. And depending on what happens with Mr. Westbrook, he has a great chance to be the number 2 option on that team. And I'm looking forward to that. I have his cards in now for grading. We'll see what happens. But that was just one of those that I looked at and speculated and talked to some people about it, got some information, did some research, and we'll see what happens. Finally, what I want to leave you on, go back to what we talked about those the draft picks for the new rookie class, is Panini is pretty smart when you think about it, because their schedule for releases for cards is interesting, right? Their hoops is scheduled for January 13th, 2021, which is about a month after the season starts. I don't think the rookies are going to be excelling then. But the interesting or more interesting part is Prism is due out in March. Just about the time that these rookies should all start to break out. And I have a feeling that when Prism hits, these prices are going to go whoosh, right through the roof. Could be wrong, could be right, but we'll see. We'll see. Because I think it's going to be a very interesting season with the way things play out. And then after that, Panini is dropping those releases almost like every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You're going to go, Prism, Optic, Select, and all the higher end stuff, and it's going to be really cool. But I am looking forward to this season. As always, check out Sports Card Analytics, my friend Jordan, Brett, Stacking Slabs. Check out Chris, the Sports Card PT on Instagram. We told him he needs to do a YouTube channel. I think he is. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, it'll be on the horizon. That's it for now. You guys, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for the support. I can't tell you how much appreciated. And until then, take care.